PJ, can you comment about Landon Robinson being named Defensive Player of the Year in the conference? He's the first Navy football player to earn that award since you've been in the league, which is 11 years, I think.
Yeah, he's an absolute force, wrecking ball for us, and I think he deserves that award and a heck of a lot more. Just incredibly proud of the way he goes about his business, the way he works, the leader that he is, the human being that he is. He's a great representative of our program on and off the field, and on the field he is just an exceptional football player and talent, and I'm really proud of him and the growth that he's had. And it's really cool when guys get recognized to that level, and I think there's a lot of great coaches in this league, and real knows real.
Can you talk about how far he's come? He was recruited as a inside linebacker. He weighed 230 pounds coming out of Copley High in Ohio, and he transformed into a 287-pound beast. And also maybe comment on Jarek Hall's role in developing him.
Well, absolutely. I mean, Landon is the hardest worker on the team. Obviously, he's the best defensive player in the American Athletic Conference. I think that's phenomenal. But yeah, we recruited him out of Ohio, and there's just something about him. Like we watched him on tape. It was very violent. We want to find guys that are smart, guys that are tough, guys that love ball, and guys that have trigger. They're trigger players, and he had all those traits. I did not necessarily see him developing into a 285-pound, 290-pound nose guard. I'm sure glad that happened, but saw him being an inside linebacker, potentially growing into like a James Harrison type Raider type prospect, or maybe even into like a 255, 260-pound defensive end. The first day he got on campus after graduating from Naps, we moved him to defensive end. I think he was a little shocked by that move, had never played defensive line before. And I think that shows the type of role and the type of teacher and the type of mentor that obviously Jarek Hall is, and Niamatalolo, and the time and the effort that they put in with Landon to learn and master the position and move from defensive end and ultimately to nose guard when Biscuit was a little bit banged up in spring ball. Just talks, immensely about those three guys, their work ethic, the detail. Just could not be more proud for us as a staff, and obviously for Landon and his family to get this recognition. It's phenomenal.
And lastly, can you talk about Mark Anthony Parker earning all conference in his first year as a starter, only a sophomore? Bodes well for his future.
Yeah, Mark's a stud. He's another hard worker. I'm glad he got the recognition, and I think he'd be the first to tell you that has a lot to do with those guys up in front of him, with Landon and Griff and Pierce and Julian and the gang. With the D-Wall just doing a phenomenal job keeping Mark clean and letting Mark scrape and be able to make some impact plays. But Mark's a student of the game. He is another guy that works extremely hard, absolute joy to coach. I mean, Landon and Mark, both those guys, like they're thirsty for freaking knowledge, man. Like they show up every day and want more and more and more. They want to be coached. They want to get better. They know that mistakes happen and you learn from those mistakes and you grow. Mark's probably at this point in his career, probably the smartest inside linebacker that I've coached. Like he's like a dang on, Coach Wimberley and I talk about it a bunch, man. He's like a dang on computer. Like he just retains information, and just keeps getting better and better. And I think this conference and the Navy football family are really excited about his growth moving forward, because I think he's just scratching the surface on the type of player that he's going to be. I mean, he gets better and better every week.
Thank you.
Thanks, Wags.
Should be noted that Landon is just the second interior defender to be named Defensive Player of the Year in the American, the other being Ed Oliver from Houston, who now is in his 7th year at the NFL and currently a member of the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah, that's pretty good company.
Very good company. I remember Ed Oliver. He was an unbelievable player, as is Landon. Scott Wyckoff.
Coach, what do you like best about the way the defense is playing now heading into the Army game?
You know, I think, Scott, we've started to figure out who we are and have gotten a lot more comfortable playing football together with the guys that we are and putting them in position to be successful and playing with more confidence and looking like the Navy defense that we need to look like. There's always meat on the bone. As coaches, we're never really satisfied, but I can see the guys playing the style of football that we intend to play. And I've seen that growth really since FAU, had moments against North Texas and Notre Dame and that weren't exactly up to par, but then USF getting out to the lead, and then obviously Memphis playing the way that we played. All aspects of it are starting to come together and really starting to click on all cylinders.
How intense do things get in practice in this lead up to playing Army?
Yeah, I don't know if intense even sums it up. This is it's a battle. I mean, everything that you do, everything that we do leading up to the game is all about that preparation and that mindset to have that edge that we've done everything possible. Really since this team got back together in January for this moment. Like it all comes to a head for this football game.
What does it mean to you to be able to coach in this game? You've done it over a few years now, and as a coordinator to be on the sidelines against Army.
Yeah, extremely grateful for this opportunity on a daily basis. This game is unlike any other on anyone else's schedule across the country. I think I told you guys last year, I went to the national championship a few years ago, and my brother grabbed me and he's like, "Hey man, this feels like an Army Navy game." Like that's the only thing that can somewhat compare to this football game, and it's still not this football game. This game stands alone. It's extremely special. It's something that as coaches, we understand the magnitude of this game, the importance of this game, and relish it, look forward to it, run to it, and extremely grateful and honored to put the N Star on my chest in the Navy blue and gold and go represent us in the right way on that stage.
Thanks a lot, Coach. Good luck in Baltimore.
Thanks, Scott. Appreciate it.
Tim Nolan.
PJ, 51 consecutive games Memphis scored 20 points or more before Thursday night's matchup. Just what did it mean for the way your defense played on Thanksgiving night?
Yeah, I was fired up. And it's been, we've been getting better and getting better and getting better, and we've seen it. And I was really fired up for the guys to see the fruits of their labor, Tim. Like this, I've said it week in and week out, like this group works extremely hard and battles through adversity. And I thought, to be honest with you, I thought defensively we dominated the football game. I was really proud of the guys. I know we gave up 17 points, and we certainly helped them get those 17 points. And we talked about that defensively and said, hey, if we just dial in and play the way that we've practiced, they're not going to score. And that's exactly what happened. And I'm super proud of the guys for the resilience, which is ultimately the battle cry of this team. Like they just respond time and time again. But I just super fired up because the guys get to experience, like I said before, the fruits of their labor. And we've all seen it as coaches, so none of us were surprised, but it was awesome to be on that stage in that moment and really dominate a football game. Super proud of them.
Yeah, obviously, as we mentioned on this call already, Landon, an incredible player. But to get that award, you need to rack up some stats too, and that takes some help around him. How important has Griffin been to Landon's ability to rack up the sacks and the tackles for loss? Willis also, have a lot of double teams.
Yeah, I mean, Griffin's an excellent football player, and those two guys, for us on the inside, we put a lot on those guys. They got to be able to execute a lot of different techniques, a lot of different movements, stunts, games. Coach Hall, Coach Va'a, they do an amazing job making sure those guys are set up. But I mean, and Griff is a huge piece of that success. I think the D wall in general, and you can throw Luke Pierce into that deal. Like those guys work so well together. And you do have to put up stats, but football is the ultimate team sport, Tim. And we talk to the guys all the time. Like if you just do your 1/11th, everything takes care of it. And Landon, I think he's got 6.5 sacks on the year. Well, like if the corners don't cover anybody, he's not going to have an opportunity to get those sacks. And if the linebackers don't line up correctly, he's not going to have an opportunity to be able to do some of those things. So it's all connected. And we understand that when you're really good as a football team, it gives opportunity for individual success. And Landon's obviously deserved every bit of that, and his teammates. And I think he'd be the first to tell you his teammates are a big piece of that success.
Since you took over this defense full time, Luke Pierce has been one of your longest tenured. He's been your longest tenured starter, and he just had a career night at Memphis. What has he meant to you in this football program?
I absolutely love Luke Pierce and the way he plays the game. Like he is an undersized guy playing the position, but he is extremely productive. He's got wonderful instincts. He's slippery. He plays with strength. He plays with technique. He's got just a great nose for the football. I thought his 2 sacks were huge plays, one to end the third quarter, one to start the fourth quarter. He practices his tail off every time we go out there. Like Luke Pierce is going to give you every ounce of being that he has at practice, in the games. I think everybody on our team would tell you he's an inspiration. Like he's exactly what you want. He goes up against guys that are 100 pounds heavier than him every single play and gets after their butts. I love the way he attacks game day.
Thank you.
Thanks, Tim.
Wyatt.
Hey, Coach, what does it mean for this team to get 5 sacks in a primetime game, shut out a team in the second half on Thanksgiving at this point in the season? As you said, you played a high-scoring South Florida team. Now you do it on the road at Memphis primetime.
Yeah, I think, again, Wyatt, it was great for the guys to see, all the work that they've put in start to come into fruition. And I think a lot of them will tell you that, like, it could have been, like, we had 5 sacks. It could have been at least double that. To be totally honest with you, we left a few plays out there that we'd love to have back, and we're greedy. But I think it was a great job by our guys, just continuing to play each play independent of itself, and to go down to Memphis and out tough them in the Liberty Bowl. That's a big deal, and I'm really, really proud of our guys for doing that.
What were some of the things you told the team at halftime in order to create some negative plays, especially Len? He had the sack play to force a 3-and-out after that lengthy drive to keep getting on the board, putting points up. What did you tell the team at halftime?
A lot of guys ask about like halftime speeches and all that type of stuff like that. All the work to get to that point is done a long, long time ago, and we just talked about executing one play at a time. And I'll be honest with you, like, our guys were excited to get on the field in the second half. Like, we grew up quite a bit, like we have every game, but like they were chomping at the bit for that opportunity. Offense went on the long drive, which was awesome. Obviously didn't end up the way that we wanted it to with the fumble, and our guys again, responded to adversity, and we're just extremely excited to get out there. And basically we just got the ball right back for the offense on the plus territory again. And that's been a huge deal for us. I think they knew it was their time. It was, let's go play our style of football. Let's go win this dang on football game. And they certainly did that.
It looked like the team was playing with a lot of energy and as much of an impact as Pierce had with his 2 sacks. Adam Clank, he had ended the game with 1. How much did that represent with the program's defensive identities, Ben, as it relates to not having any secrets toward succeeding late?
Yeah, I mean, Adam Clank has a knack for rushing the passer. He's got tremendous play strength, and he was again a force to be reckoned with out there. I mean, he's a guy that just demands us to. I mean, Luke is playing really good football, and so is Adam, and it's just like it's hard to keep one of them off the field. Like, they just demand to be out on the field. Adam's playing with a ton of confidence right now. I mean, he just, to end the game, I mean, he just ran right by that guy like he wasn't even there. I mean, it was it was exceptional, and it wasn't the first time he did it all day. You know, he had created some pressure several times all day, and I'm so happy for Adam because he's been through a ton personally and obviously on the field, and he just shows up with a great mindset every day. I think his teammates really love him, and they love to see him playing with some confidence and some swagger, and that's certainly what he's doing.
Thanks.
Flags.
So after the Memphis game, Coach Newberry said that we've gotten much better play from our cornerbacks the last 2 games. Can you kind of talk about that? I know it's been a process to get here, but you know, there were some guys making some plays on deep balls. Memphis took some shots on you, and they were there to answer. Can you kind of talk about, I guess it's really been Nick Bell, Justin Ross, and Cam Robinson?
Yeah. Extremely excited about the growth of those guys in the unit in general, you know, and it's a tough position. You know, we argue about who's got the toughest position in all the time. And I really think playing corner is a challenging position. You're out on an island quite a bit, you know, and we try to do different things to help guys and things like that and put them in positions to be successful. But, you know, more times than not, Wags, I mean, it's you and that guy, and you got to go. And those guys have certainly grown up all year long. And I think Coach Green deserves a ton of credit. You know, I grabbed Coach Green after the game and just told him how proud I was of him and how those guys have developed, because Coach Green's ran to the coaching all season long and has just poured a ton of time and effort into those guys that you mentioned. And those guys have poured a ton of time and effort into improvement and getting better. And that's ultimately what you want to see as coaches. Like, if they could just be phenomenal players without coaching, like what the heck are we needed for? You know, we're needed to invest and develop and work with guys, and Coach Green has done that better than anyone. And you know, I think Cam Robinson is playing at a really high level. I mean, he's a guy that just keeps getting better and better. Justin Ross, you know, I just think he's just still scratching the surface of the type of player that he's going to be. Had an opportunity for both those guys had opportunity for several interceptions. Nick Bell made a huge 4-point play, 3rd down in the red zone, tackle, taking space, had their guys beat up really the whole game. There's so many examples, Wags, that'll be on our teach tape for cut-ups. For numerous coverages that we play that are going to come from that game. I mean, there's time and time again that our guys were really doing an excellent job, and it's a testament to them as individuals, and obviously Coach Green working his tail off with those guys. Really, really proud and excited about where they're at and where they're headed.
Can you talk about the pass coverage in general against Memphis? Part of the reason why you had 5 sacks, 6 quarterback pressures is because the quarterback had to hold the ball. He seemed confused at times, and you also successfully kind of limited his running ability. You basically kind of, had him back there in the pocket until you surrounded him and got him down or have forced him into a hurried throw.
Yeah, I mean, we tried to vary the looks, give them several different presentations. Make things look the same that were different, make things look the same. Make things look different that are the same. I thought the safeties did an excellent job with those presentations. I think the underneath defenders really have taken a lot of pride with our reroutes and getting guys displaced and helping some things out. There's a couple really good examples of those. I thought our rushers did a adequate job of making him play in the well and playing in the pocket. There's a few times that we'd really sort of let him out of the well that we can't do. In the run game, there's a couple of draws that really got out that I'd like to have call back in terms of what I got us in. And really the one run that hit, we got in a draw call and they popped an inside zone on that. And that's a little bit on me too. But I just think Wags, it's all, they all work together, if that makes sense. So like there's times where you get a sack because the rush is so dang on good. And there's times where you get a sack because the coverage is so dang on good. And there were a lot of instances in the football game where both of those groups, both of those units, whether it's droppers or rushers, are sort of working in concert of each other. And I really think the safeties, the corners, did a nice job holding our shell or showing our presentation that we needed to show. And then I thought our blitzers did a good job getting on edges. We didn't bring an exorbitant amount of pressure, but when we did, I thought we did a fairly good job with that. And like I said, there was a few more that we really felt like we could have had. So it was important for us to show a lot of different looks and just not allow them easy access throws. And I thought the underneath defenders did good with that. And the back end did a great job in coverage and disguises.
Can you talk about how the Army-Navy game is usually won in the trenches? I mean, these are two teams that want to establish the run, stop the run. Those are keys. Last year, you did that very well on both sides of the ball. Can you kind of talk about the pressure on the front seven to try to contain that Army rushing attack, which ranks second nationally, and maybe harken back to what you did so well last year to do so?
Yeah, I mean, this is a game that is this most physical game of the year. That make no mistake about it. This is the most physical game of the year. Fundamentals are at a premium. Block destruction, tackling, and it's a battle for every inch, every centimeter on the football field, and hand placement, staying square, getting knocked back. Being able to spike the shoulder, working to finish in a dominant position is so critical in these football games. It's a major challenge. They're good at what they do. They're well coached. They do just an excellent job. So there's a ton of pulling your hair out and stress that goes into this football game. But ultimately, what it comes down to, it's 11 on 11 and guys working together and working in concert to win their one-on-one battles all across the football field. And it's a challenge because these guys are good.
Thank you.
Thanks, Wax.
Scott Wyckoff.
Yeah, Coach, do you think the guys take pride in the way they've played against two coaches that were known for their offense that are now just getting jobs as head coaches in the SEC?
You know what, or you know what, Scott? I didn't even think about asking him, to be honest with you. It's one of those deals that as soon as we got back to it, it's on to those guys up north, to be honest with you. I think that's a good question for them, to be honest with you. It didn't even dawn on me to ask them, though. That's why you're good at this, and I'm not.
When you look at this offense for Army, how important is it to limit the explosive plays that they can make in the way they run this offense?
Yeah, that's been a big deal in all these games in year past. It's been a big deal for us in every game this year. They're really good at what they do. I mean, really good at it. Like they've got good players. They've got a great scheme. They're well coached. It's a challenge, and every play is an absolute challenge. So we got to do a great job making sure that we leverage the football, keep it inside and in front, that we take space, we tackle, that we play great fundamental football, and that's what these games are, man. They're a battle for your fundamentals.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, Scott.
Tim Nolan.
Yeah, just one more from me, PJ. I know you've got a chance to coach a number of these Army-Navy games, but if there's one adjective, one characteristic about them that sets them apart from any other game you've taken part in, what is it?
Pride. I mean, it's pride for obviously your school, the academy, your city, your state, your community, and then obviously your nation. Like I think that's probably the best way to put it. Is just there's a ton of pride to be able to go represent, and you want to do it in the right manner, if that makes sense. So I just think there's a ton of pride and pageantry that goes into this game, and I don't know if one word, Tim, can really do it. Like I start to think that there's a lot of things that go into my head, but this is unlike anything else in sports, in my opinion, and super grateful for the opportunity to be a small part of it. But it is something that we all take immense pride in being a part of.
Thank you.
Thanks, Tim.
Wyatt.
Coach, where do you feel the tackling and overall fundamentals are trending as you get into this extended prep period? Still about a week and a half left. You said how important fundamentals are and getting to the right position, dominating toward the end of plays. Where do you think that all stands right now?
You know what? I think we've gotten a heck of a lot better at that as the season's gone along. I still think there's room for improvement. We're going to continue to attack those things head on. It is a critical piece of this football game and every football game, but I learned a long time ago in coaching, like big games come down to fundamentals, and it's such a critical piece of it. And every game for us is a big game. Make no mistake about it, but there's none bigger than this one. This is the biggest game, and I think we've continued to get better and better as the season's gone along, but we got to continue to run to the coaching, and our players got to continue to run to it as well and look for improvement in every area at all times.
And the last one for me, as it relates to having defensive self-scout that you said is going to be a very physical game the most of the year, is it more about personal tendencies or looking at tightening specific technique areas over these next 10 days?
Yeah, it's both. Obviously you look at all the years we've been here and what we've done, and what they've done against us, and see where they may try to think that there's a tendency there, and make sure that we tweak that or adjust that to make sure that we're covered up in that manner. And it's a constant battle. I mean, we go through everything with a fine-tooth comb to make and then at the same time, you got to still make sure your guys can play confident and play fast in what you're doing. So there's a method to the madness, and but it's extremely detailed. And then obviously, if guys are out there and can't execute the plan quick, like it's not a very good plan. So it may be something that's different, but it's got to be taught in the right manner, and it's got to be something that we can efficiently do quickly and with violence.
Thank you.
Thanks, Wyatt.
We have about 5 minutes left. Anyone else have any further questions? I know Wags does.
PJ, why weren't you the Frank Broyles Assistant Coach of the Year nomination instead of Drew Cronick? Is Strauss screwing you?
No, I would vote for Drew too. Are you kidding me? Have you watched the offense? Holy smokes!
What makes you think I have anything to do with it, Wag? Jeez.
You're involved with those nominations.
No, Drew deserves that. I mean, he's done just an absolute phenomenal job since he's walked in the doors here. I'm sure he talks about the entire offensive staff being a part of that. Those guys have just done an exceptional job. It's a pain in the butt going against them in fall camp and spring ball, and hopefully we make it the same for them. But I think as a program, when Drew got nominated for that, I think we all take a ton of pride in that, and definitely think that he is. I think he should win the dang on award. Are you kidding me? Like you just watch what our guys do week in and week out and how he goes about it. I think they'd be crazy not to give it to him.
PJ.
Anything else?
No problem.
All right. Thanks a lot, PJ. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, Scott.